This is Tanya Rivens with Under the Crown, with stories that localize our community and with stories that acknowledge the melting pot that our city has become.
I appreciate everybody's prayers around this world, around this nation that's praying. You know, she is everybody's daughter. Nobody can't even imagine what I'm going through.
She's one of our own, but she's also considered America's daughter. Last October, Shanquella Robinson was in Cabo, Mexico, where she traveled with 6 others. One day after arriving to their destination, Shanquella was found dead in the luxury rental property where the group was staying. Robinson's family has confirmed that their beloved daughter was friends with only one member of her traveling companions.
I would like have known that she was going and who she was going with. How long she been knowing the people that she was going with. What's the itinerary? To tell her, to be safe. Call me when you get there. But before all that, I would like to have known the folks' family, their mother and father, had a chance to talk to them or had a chance to talk to the group that was going, to let them know that this father right here loved his daughter, and the same way she went with you all over there, y'all better make sure that, she come right back,
Shanquella obviously came from a fun, loving family, but the values that you instilled in her, would you say somehow it was strained a little bit to where she may have taken for granted when she met some people, giving them the benefit when maybe she probably shouldn't have?
Yeah, she did take it for granted. Somewhere she dropped the ball from the best friend that's supposed to be her best friend. Truly he wasn't no friend. As her father, I always been the protector of her.
What are your thoughts, or what would you say to the parents right now?
You can't even reach out to the father, and send a letter or, say something to the father, whatsoever. And especially if you say you believe in God and the higher power and you pray and all this, and, at some point in time, how can you sleep at night and lay down and knowing that your child was with Shanquella on this trip? And I'm her protector until she took a husband. And when she took a husband, then he become a protector. But as her father, I was still her protector.
Once you got that call, that dreaded call, you started looking for your daughter, and you made calls, and you get Elizabeth on the phone, and she says something very powerful to you. What was that?
We talked. She told me she had her, and she just said, "Mr. Robinson, I feel the hurt in your voice, just like my father. You're a father figure just like my father. I can see your personality through the phone, even I ain't even never met you. But at the same time, she say, I'm gonna stick with you until your daughter get back here to the state, to the United States soil." And she did that.
She did stick with you all
every
the way.
day. We talked every often, tell me what was going on, what I need to do, prepared the paperwork. And when she was about to send Shanquella back here, and I asked her how she died, and that's when she told me, said, "Mr. Robinson, your daughter's neck and spinal cord were broke." And I just can't believe that lady would just say something to me like that out of the blue,
How do you feel about the results, the recent announcement that currently there will be no federal prosecution because of a lack of evidence?
Angry, a little upset, but still at the same time, I serve a God that sits up high, look low, high power, but I know the case is still open, it's not closed, so, God's still moving. So as he's still moving, my faith and the strength that I have, for God and how I pray, as I always been praying, even when Shanquella walked on this around here in the United States, he's still gonna bring me justice, and that's how I'm gonna continue to stand, even though I'm angry, I'm weary, but justice gonna come though.
And what does justice look like?
They need to get what done to them, because they did a crime and came back over here and just seemed like they got away. As I'm sitting here, everything plays back in my mind. I know my daughter called out for me. I know she did to the utmost. It's just the point that I couldn't be there to help her. I just can't believe these 6 individuals do this to her. The 3 men sitting in that room. How would you like if that would have been your mother sitting there? Someone doing it to your mom or your aunt or your grandmother, for y'all to sit there and just do that to her, waking her up and beating on her and she's naked, it's just, and not knowing that she was gone, that's why I felt. It seemed like to me that's why I failed, because I didn't get that opportunity to talk to her.
I know you've talked about that hole in your heart.
It's gonna take a long time for this hole to heal up. This is how I've been, mistreated out here. Like I was a deadbeat dad. Like I didn't have no say so, like I ain't do nothing for my daughter.
And coming up, Bernard Robinson, he's going to share a letter written by a family member on behalf of Shanquella Robinson. But up next, Dr. Sadia Upright, she's going to discuss how trust is developed. I'm starting to understand and see is the level of trust that Shanquella compromised when she agreed to take this trip with a group of people where she was only friends with one. Now, we know in any relationship, trust is the foundation that it's built on. Where does that all start, though, when you're starting to develop trust in other individuals?
Trust is a very interesting topic. Trust begins as a template in our early development. And I want to be very intentional when I'm talking about trust, because I'm not speaking only in terms of Shanquella's situation, but as a broad topic. When we're discussing trust, trust starts in our very early formative years. So that would begin in early childhood development when we're infants. And it continues to progress throughout our childhood. So our early caregivers basically set the stage for trust. And what they do is they determine what is safe, what isn't, what is dangerous, what we would consider to be healthy or unhealthy. And children learn how to navigate the world of trust within that realm. What happens in those early developmental ages is that if there's some sort of conflict or inconsistency, those trust templates become very confused or distorted. Now, this can happen with a multitude of caregivers. So that can happen with parents, it can happen with grandparents, it can happen with your teachers, it can happen with early peers, it can happen with anybody. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's just all on parents.
And it doesn't mean it's necessarily just in your home.
Exactly. So what can happen is, as the child is growing, the child will learn different trusting relationships. And those trust relationships will then become the foundation for your adult trust relationships. Young adults in general are very, very socially inept. Because of social media, there's a very big dependency on how we interact with one another. Young adults don't know how to read basic social skills. They're also very susceptible to each other's opinions. We as parents, are very hands-on with things that we probably maybe shouldn't be, and very hands-off on other things. We give them a lot of latitude with making decisions in areas that they're just not ready to make. This is not a victim blaming situation in any way. What I want to emphasize is there are factors that lead to decisions, and sometimes young adults are not ready to make these types of decisions that can put them in very dangerous situations.
And as you heard earlier, Bernard Robinson says he hasn't heard from the families of the Cabo Six, but here's something that he would like for the families to hear from him.
Your friend died in front of your eyes. Your face, my friend, even with my eyes closed, was the last I saw. And I hope mine was the last you saw before I left you. And Jesus came and took me home. Listen, when your parents tell you that certain people are no good for you, they have for more experience than you think and know what they are talking about. Choose your friends carefully. It might be single, most important decision you will ever have a chance to make. Too many people have ended up like me. I thought I knew what a real friend was. But in the end, I did not. I wish I could tell you to beware of red flags. Trust the people who are they show themselves to be. And when you feel time it is right for you to separate, do not let anyone, include yourself, especially yourself, take you out of it. Feeling, warning are real. Take heed. This letter is written by Sharon Simmons, one of the members of Macedonia Church family that's very friend dear to the Robinson family. And she wrote this letter to Clea Cook and all the friends that was on that trip. She wrote that letter to all of y'all, and especially Clea Cook, that's supposed to be her friend.
Trust, it should be earned. And we know it is the foundation of building healthy relationships. I hope that you have been empowered by what we've shared. I'm Tanya Rivens, and this is Under the Crown.